Hello, magic finders! Welcome back to Storytime with Min. Today's fairy tale is a heartwarming story about kindness, unexpected help, and the magic that can happen right inside your workshop. It's called The Elves and the Shoemaker. Have you ever worked so hard that you felt hopeless? This story will teach us that when you are kind and never give up, the universe sends tiny magical friends to help. Let's uncover the secret that changed the lives of a poor shoemaker and his wife. The shoemaker and his wife were hard-working and kind, but unfortunately their business was struggling. They grew poorer and poorer. One morning, the shoemaker found he only had one last piece of leather, just enough to make one pair of shoes. "This is our last hope," he told his wife. He carefully cut the leather into pieces, placed them on the workbench, and said, "Tomorrow morning, I will finish them." He and his wife went to sleep, their hearts heavy. When the shoemaker woke up the next morning, he was stunned. On his workbench, instead of the cut leather pieces, there was a perfect pair of shoes. They were meticulously stitched, sparkling, and more beautiful than anything he had ever made. "What in the world?" his wife exclaimed. The shoes were so beautiful that a wealthy customer passed by and bought them for much more than the usual price. Now they had enough money for 2 new pairs of shoes. The miracle continued. Every night the shoemaker would cut the leather, and every morning the shoes would be perfectly finished. He and his wife became wealthy and happy, but they couldn't rest until they knew. "We must find out who is helping us," his wife said. On Christmas Eve, they hid behind a large coat to watch. When the clock struck midnight, 2 tiny naked elves hopped in. The shoemaker and his wife were deeply moved. The tiny elves were working so hard in the cold without any clothes. "We must repay them," the shoemaker's wife said. The couple decided to sew warm clothes and knit tiny little shoes for their miniature friends. They finished the gifts, placed them on the workbench instead of leather, and hid to watch again. At midnight, the 2 little elves hopped in and saw the clothes. They were overjoyed. They quickly put on their tiny coats, trousers, and new shoes. They didn't make shoes anymore, but instead started dancing around the workshop, singing, "Now we're lads so fine and neat, we don't need to cobble with our feet." Then they hopped out the window and were never seen again. The shoemaker and his wife no longer needed the elves' help. Thanks to the perfect shoes that built their reputation, they became wealthy. But most importantly, they learned the power of kindness and gratitude. The lesson is, when you work hard with a kind heart, that goodness will come back to you, often in the most magical ways. Never forget those who helped you, and always try to help others.